Right, it's 6:30. We'll call to order our March 9 City Council meeting. Let the record show that all council members are present. For adoption of the agenda, we will need to remove item 16B. Could I have a motion for adoption of the agenda as revised?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's time for comments, public comments on items on the closed session. Is there any public comment?
Mayor Anduri, I have no speakers slips for persons in the Don Tatson Community Hall, and I have no hands raised in our virtual audience.
Okay, so we will now go into closed session and we will return at 7 p.m. Okay, that needs to be. Nice, we should get this one.
Okay, thank you. Not that, yeah, not so alarming. I didn't hear anything. I was wondering.
Make sure that.
Let me know when we're ready. Are we ready?
It's 7 o'clock. The council is back in session. We completed the closed session. There was no reportable action. Please join in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we gather this evening, we acknowledge that Lafayette is part of the unceded ancestral homeland of the Bay Miwok people. The Bay Miwok and neighboring Ohlone people have lived in and moved through this place for thousands of years. They stewarded and shaped this land for hundreds of generations. We express our appreciation and gratitude for this profound legacy, which enhances and contributes to our lives to this day. We will strive to honor this land and strengthen our ties with the indigenous communities that continue to live and work in our East Bay region as our neighbors and community members. We acknowledge and honor them and their ancestors, elders, and next 7 generations. We're on to public comment. It's an opportunity for anyone in the public to address the council on any item that is not on tonight's agenda, but is within the purview of the city council.
Mayor Anduri, we have no speakers slips for persons in the Don Tatson Community Hall, and we have no hands raised in our virtual audience.
Okay, we'll move on to the city manager's update.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. Here are updates from various city departments. The Public Art Committee will host Poetry for the Ages on April the 21st. It's at noon, and it's a salon-style poetry reading celebrating National Poetry Month at the Town Hall Theater. And if you're a budding local poet, please submit your work to Jenny Rosen, who staffs the Public Art Committee. This Thursday, the city's management team will meet to kick off the budget process by reviewing the City Council's priorities for fiscal year 26-27 and developing departmental work plans to support the Council's priorities. And finally, on March the 1st, the La Marinda Muslim community temporarily installed a crescent moon sculpture in Lafayette Plaza to welcome Ramadan. LMC, which is the La Marinda Muslim community, commissioned Bushra Gill to create the sculpture of a crescent moon, which symbolizes the beginning of Ramadan. You can stop by Lafayette Plaza to see the display through March the 20th, which coincides with the celebration of Eid al-Fitr. Thank you.
Are there questions for the city manager? Is there any public comment? Okay, we're on to our presentation. So just as a background for our first presentations, Lafayette's mission statement calls out our commitment to lifelong learning, and through the city's Public Art Committee and its newly expanded focus, the city seeks to embed the arts in our civic life and in the fabric of our community. During the next 2 years, we will help strengthen those civic values through presentations at the beginning of the first council meeting of each month by an arts organization or an organization that offers lifelong learning opportunities. This month's featured organization is both of those. Morgan Daly, Managing Director of the Town Hall Theater, will talk to us about the Town Hall Theater as a venue for the arts and about the opportunities the Town Hall Theater provides for lifelong learning. Welcome.
Ooh,
So official. Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan Daly, and I am here representing Town Hall Theater. I first want to thank those from Town Hall attending tonight. We have Brian Foley, who serves on our board of directors, and also we have Colette Hudson, who's a part of our team. I serve as managing director for Town Hall, and I am so, so grateful to be speaking to all of you. Thank you, first and foremost, for your commitment to the arts and to lifelong learning. Although I've only been a part of Town Hall Theater for a short time, it is clear that Lafayette is a warm, positive community that is committed to nonprofits, not only nonprofits, but nonprofit arts organizations, and Town Hall is proud to be a part of this community. So let's talk a little history first. Established in 1944 as the Dramateurs, it was then reorganized in 1992 as the name that we know and love, Town Hall Theater Company of Lafayette. And we are the oldest continuously active theater company in Contra Costa County, which is amazing. Our building is an icon. She's very old. She's 110 years old. And during that time, there have been a lot of performing arts companies that have filled her space, including the two I previously mentioned. One of my favorites is called the Lafayette Play Shop. They began holding theatrical performances in 1941. In fact, their first opening night was December 3rd of 1941, which was just before the United States entered World War II. So 4 years after that time, Town Hall supported the war efforts. Again, there was a couple of other groups, like the Straw Hat Review is a popular one in Lafayette. They were there in 1947, but we quickly became the Dramateurs and then switched over in 1992 to Town Hall Theater Company. And we've delighted all ages and won numerous local Shelley Awards for the work that we've created. Live theater continues in Lafayette because of the generosity of its community. And the existence and the use of the Town Hall building for this purpose over so many decades is a testament to this spirit. But Town Hall's more than just a performance venue. It's a place where our community gathers to tell stories, to learn, to collaborate, and to grow. For many people in our city, it's a place where they step on stage to perform. They learn teamwork through our adult improv classes, or they attend live music and comedy shows. Every season, Town Hall serves hundreds of students, artists, volunteers, and audience members. Most of our programming falls under one of three categories: our main stage, our education, or our community co-productions. This programming brings together people of all ages and backgrounds, from young kids that are learning to discover their creativity for the first time, through our on-site or our in-school programming or our camps. We offer a lot of camps as well for the youth. But then we also have adults that are reconnecting with the joy of performance and storytelling. So in our main stage programming, we do 4 shows a year. And through those shows, we explore the past, we embrace the present, and we dream about the future. At Town Hall, we're committed to accessibility for our patrons, and we always offer pay-what-you-can performances for all main stage performances. And we aim to have our storytelling reflect the community that we serve. For many of the young people that we serve in education, theater is not just an extracurricular activity. It's a place where they build confidence, they develop communication skills, and they learn how to work collaboratively with others. They learn to solve problems, support their peers, take creative risks. They practice teamwork, and they practice empathy. The arts create opportunities for growth that are difficult to replicate anywhere else. Town Hall Theater is also a vital cultural and economic asset to our community. Through our community partnerships with other organizations like Front Porch Music and the La Miranda Art Council with Poetry Through the Ages, our productions bring in audiences to our downtown, which supports nearby restaurants, shops, and local businesses. Audience members come not only from our city, but from the greater area, surrounding communities, and they travel here to attend our performances and events. But I think maybe the most important thing that the theater provides for the community is connection. At a time where many people feel increasingly isolated, spaces where people can gather, create, and share experiences together are more important than ever. Theater brings people together in a unique way. There's performers, audiences, volunteers, and families all participating in something that is shared, that is visceral, that is live, and that is meaningful. These moments create a stronger, more connected community. At Town Hall, we believe that the arts are not a luxury. They are an essential part of a healthy and thriving community. They teach creativity, they encourage empathy, and they remind us of the power of a shared human experience. So on behalf of Town Hall Theater, I just wanted to thank you, our students, volunteers, artists, staff. Thank you so, so much for supporting the arts and lifelong learning in the community. We're grateful to be a part of a city that values creativity, educational, and cultural life. So thank you so much for your time and your work, and thank you for all you do for us. I'd like to open the time for any questions.
Yeah.
Any?
Thank you very much for all you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there questions?
Yeah, just well, a question, a comment, or just a reflection. I know both our kids went through Town Hall theater education programs
Yeah.
growing up, and obviously Town Hall also has all their camps and a lot of classes happen at Lumberton Music, the spillover. And I will tell you, you have never seen such energy as to see 25 theater kids for like an hour and a half session, and they have a great time. You can just tell it's where they belong, and the sense of community is really striking. So thank you very much for everything you do for the community.
Gosh, thank you. Yeah, it's maybe my favorite to compare the first week kids with the last week kids, because I think they get over their shyness and build their confidence throughout our skills-based process. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate your presentation. Yeah, I'm also a family that had a town hall actor. One of them's actually in the room right now. And yeah, I can say as a parent, it was a wonderful experience. I think she was in several performances, and really we're just very impressed with the quality of the acting, but also with the quality of the education that they got to bring them to that point to have a wonderful performance.
Yeah.
So we're happy you're here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No public comment.
Okay, well, again, oh, Jim, so,
I'm sorry. So I was going to go 3 for 3 because both of our kids were on the stage. Well, they were too.
I love it.
Maybe just high level, but like we're the city, opportunities, challenges that you see with respect to town hall theater where the
Mm.
city is maybe has a part of that. What can you think of anything off the top like
That's
that
a
we should be mindful of?
question. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just getting people into the space. One of my main drives, I started in June with Town Hall, so I still am kind of new, but one of my main drives is to get the community back into the space. Right now we have a full rentals program where we are inviting like birthday parties and magicians and things that wouldn't necessarily be in a theater company. But I think it's really, really important that the theater serves the community as well as the community serves us. And so that's maybe my one pitch, is that I would just say, please come join us at a show. Please come see something that we have going on. We have things that are happening almost every weekend at Town Hall. We're really hopeful to get the community in and engaged with us so that we can better reflect you and serve you. So maybe that would be my only pitch is to see if we can get you to see a show. But other than that, we're just grateful to be here.
Great. Thank you.
Right, 4 for 4, both of my kids.
I love that. I love that. That's so great. Thank you.
right. Thank you very
so much.
And just as a reminder to everyone, these presentations are being recorded and are available on the website. So far we've heard about the city's public art collection. We heard about the Park Theater Trust, and of course tonight and next week we'll hear from the Lafayette Community Garden and Outdoor Learning Center, what they're doing for lifelong learning. Okay, we're on to the next agenda item. Tracy Robinson.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I would like to introduce you to our newest employee. That is Craig Tambernini. He is a new senior planner. Craig grew up in the North Bay area, and his first public agency job was as a lifeguard for the Greater Vallejo Recreation District. And after earning degrees in urban planning and economics from Sonoma State University, he worked for several agencies throughout the San Francisco Bay Area. After a brief break from public service, he began his search for work with a local Bay Area community, and we were lucky enough to snag him. which we're extremely happy about. He has a lot of great experience. And then we asked Craig if he could instantly become an expert in one specific topic, either work-related or not, what would it be? And he said, if I could become an instant expert, it would be in cosmology, not cosmetology, as I misread, which means the stars in the universe. He says he finds the topic fascinating and believes that scientific pursuit unites humanity towards a more positive future. So we welcome Craig.
Well, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and council member, and thank you, members, and thank you, Tracy. I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased that the opportunity existed and I was able to land a position here successfully. And I look forward to working with all of you. Look forward to working with the commissions and helping support our planning efforts and serving the community as best we can. And I promise to do the best that I can to achieve those goals. So thank you very much.
Thank you. One comments? Okay. Thank you. We look forward to working with you. And now, can I invite the Youth Commission to come forward for their annual report?
All right, so I'm Yella Shu, and
I'm Addison Stevens.
we're the co-chairs of the Lafayette Youth Commission. And we've been doing this for how long? Like,
I've been here for
Try to speak into the mic.
oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
sorry, yeah. We are Addison Stevens and Miela
Yella Shu.
Shu. Thank you so much for having us here tonight. We are both your co-chair, the Lafayette Youth Commission co-chairs, and I think I've been here for around 6.5 years.
Yeah, I think I've been here for 6.
And
Yeah, this is our 25-26 presentation. So in April, this starts in April, it's kind of up to like last year to now. It was our Day of Bunny Fun. This is an event we do every year. It's really, really enjoyable. And so we have Easter eggs that we hide all over the playgrounds at the community center. And then Fur Tails and Scales comes and does an animal show, which is really cool, even for me. Like, it's a lot of fun to see like all the different animals that he can pull out. And then we have our Easter Bunny, who is always one of our commissioners, and that's always fun, like with making one person end up being the bunny, but we have enthusiastic people who like doing it. And so you could take photos with kids, and it's just a really fun opportunity to kind of start, not start the year off, but a nice spring activity.
And then pretty much annually, we are invited to participate in Earth Day every April. This past year, we decorated tote bags to try to promote sustainability and reusability for kids. And so we invited children to come and decorate tote bags as they wished. And we thought it went very well this year. We had a lot of positive feedback, and it was overall a great way to start off that month of appreciation for the earth. And then our next event in May was our family dance. We had kind of a outdoor event, which focused more on like outdoor activities. We had vase painting, some fun interactive music activities, and everything with the children. And it was a really fun way to start off the year with the youth, and it went well, I think.
And Community Day, sorry, we don't have very many photos of Community Day, but we were invited to have a booth at the Community Day and in May, and we partnered with the Senior Services Commission, and we had a booth that was about spreading information about native pollinators like the monarch butterfly. And so for the kid part of it, we had monarch butterfly coloring pages that kids could come and color on. And then we also were giving out milkweed seeds to anyone who came out, and hopefully they planted them in their garden to support native pollinators.
Alrighty, for our annual fan favorite, we had the haunted house. This past year, our theme was kind of centered around the idea of like haunted campground, ranger station, and so our not so scary centered around a bit of a scavenger hunt and task cycle within a national park, just kind of spreading little messages about picking up trash and being conscious about how you treat your environment around you. And then for our scary, we had our typical haunted chase through the woods, I guess you could say. But it was a wonderful year. We did unfortunately get caught off a little bit early with the weather. We got rained out for the last day, but that first day of the haunted house did have wonderful rates of participation, and we thought it went very well.
And in December, we worked with the Santa's Sleigh like craft fair, and we had a photo booth and craft making stations. We got to help little kids write letters for Santa, and we took photos with different kids, and we were dressed as elves. My favorite part was a little kid came in and he gave me an elf a like entire carrot because he wanted someone to give it to Santa's reindeer for him, and so I got to take that carrot home and hopefully pass it on to Santa. And then in December, we also did Adopt a Family and Toys for Tots. And so we went to Target and we shopped for, I think, 2 different families, both with like teenage kids. And that was a lot of fun. And then we also had a budget for Toys for Tots where we shopped around for toys for all different age groups.
Alrighty. And then another big event that kicked off this year was bringing back the Tri-City Dance, which we thought went very well. We had all ages 6th grade to 8th grade, so middle schoolers come in and celebrate in a Hollywood-themed dance. And we had food and beverage available, and it was our entertainer was DJ AJ, who always comes as a great presence there. But we're definitely really excited about bringing this back, and it came in strong, and so we're hoping to continue this in the coming years.
Right, and thank you. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Questions?
Sure. Great. Thank you very much. You got definitely the most entertaining presentation we've had so far in the annual reports. Thank you very much. You have set a high bar for everybody else. You guys both do a great job. I know you've been doing it for years. Very impressive, the leadership. So I think my question to you is, how are you doing nurturing the next set of leaders? Right, because you're both graduating, right? You're both going to college next year. So what's the future of the Youth Commission look like as far as leadership?
We have a lot of new associates currently, like we have a lot of people, and I'm really amazed at the interest in like middle schoolers and like early high school students, because we were very much the odd ones out joining when we were like 6th graders and seeing these kids being like, I'm coming to college, and I'm like 11 years old, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, we have a lot of students who are in middle school and early high school that I think are really enthusiastic and really eager. And so I think any of them would be really great candidates.
Yeah, over the past few months, the beginning of this year and late last year, we started our interview process to start onboarding new commissioners and associates, and it's been really great, like Miela said, to see all the interest. Just right now, we rounded off our meeting at 6-ish this afternoon, and we got into talks of starting out our new board members for chair commission positions and everything, which was a little bit sad for me and Miela. We've been quite the duo for a while, but so that's kind of how we've started off on that.
Great. Thank you.
Well, thank you, guys. This was really a great presentation. I just know how much you work on all of these events and just how important they are to our community for all these little kids who have this thing to look forward to. And also to have it be run by big kids who they look up to. And I just think that you've all done really amazing work, amazing job. I want to thank you, Addie, for all of your leadership with the haunted house. Miela has said that you've really, you've brought people into the work process who aren't part of the commission usually, and you've just done incredible productions. So I hope that you're able to pass that knowledge on to the next folks. And then I think I saw one of your members in the room, so I just want to do a shout out to, maybe you can introduce him briefly. So
yeah, that's Marley, and he was actually one of the people that you were talking about, people who joined and participated in the haunted house and liked it a lot and joined the youth commission after that. Hi, Marley.
Welcome, Marley. Thank you.
You guys should be really proud of everything that you have accomplished here. We really appreciate it. And I know this woman is a very proud mama to see you here after doing such an amazing job for our community and the youth in our community. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to echo that. I think you guys do an amazing job. I just was looking at the presentation, all the activities, a lot of work goes into that. I was with then Councilmember, now Vice Mayor McCormick for the interviews and I was so impressed by the energy and talent that's in your group. And I know you're going to do a lot. I guess my one question would be, are there things the city could do to help like make youth in the community feel more engaged? I mean, you guys are doing amazing work, but are there things you think about like, gosh, I wish if we had X, we could do Y squared or something? Just a thought.
Overall, we really appreciate all the support that the city council gives us. You guys are amazing and getting us out there. And for us, it's mostly just having connections with other commissions in Lafayette. We love to talk to anybody that reaches out to us. We've done a little bit of work reaching out to other commissions like the senior commission and everything, but it's really just a matter of exposure. I mean, it's difficult to get us out there sometimes just because of the nature of us being on the younger side and having trouble getting taken seriously. But overall, we think that as like the Lafayette City Council, you guys have done an amazing job, and we cannot be more grateful about how much active participation you guys have with us and everything.
I guess one thing, this is totally like a very small thing, but if you guys ever wanted to show up to the haunted house, we would gladly have you. We have both the scary and the not so scary. So if you guys like, if you want more of like a trick-or-treating experience, that's also an option, but I would just love it if you guys could come to that.
That's a good job for the mayor, I think.
I think a group effort could be good.
Is there any public comment?
No public comment at this time.
Okay, well, I echo all the thanks and all the comments. You're just doing a great job. And yeah, we'll miss you, but you'll be off at college eventually. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now for something completely different. Welcome the Transportation and Circulation Commission.
Hard act to follow.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't think it's on.
Here we go. And for the second year in a row, we had to follow the Youth Commission, and they're a hard act to follow. So, but I'll do my best. Good evening, Mayor Anduri, council members. We're here to review the work plan for the Transportation and Circulation Commission for the city. And so I'm going to do that. So before we get into the work plan, I just want to let you know who we are, because there has been some changes. So obviously, you know me, I'm the chair, Bart Carr, the chair. We have Michelle Sahar is our new vice chair. She took over for Stella when Stella left. Greg Brown continues as a commissioner. And we have Lynn Hidane, who's been with us for a while. How many years? How many years? Quite a few, anyway. And she's served the city well and continues to do so. So thank you for that. We lost two valuable members last year, Stella and Vianney Serriere. But we got three new members, Mark Dreger, Mario DePrisco, and Tony Ratner. So we're very pleased with that. This is the first time in a long time that we've been completely, fully staffed, full membership, which is really nice. And then finally, we are expertly supported by Patrick, who is our Transportation and Circulation Program Manager, as you all know. So that's who we are. And before we get into the work plan itself, I just want to quickly go over some of the things that we accomplished in 2025, starting with the Connecting Lafayette, the Downtown Pathways and School Safety Project. You're all familiar with that. We received a 65% design plan that we looked at, made some comments on, took a lot of comments from the community on that. We voted to endorse it and pass it on to you. And that is right now, I guess, getting ready for construction later this year. So, and obviously the two centerpiece items of that are the pathway on Topper and the pathway on School Street. So we're looking forward to moving forward with that. With the traffic calming program, we had two projects that were brought to us by Patrick, one on Glen Road and the other one on Glen side, both speed humps, I believe. We reviewed those and supported those, and those came to you for approval. The Mount Diablo Boulevard right turn on red restrictions. We received a report from consultants providing their technical findings on that regarding right turn restrictions at three very busy intersections on Mount Diablo Boulevard, First Street, Oak Hill, and Moraga Road. And we provided comments on that, and that is still under consideration, but those are restrictions changes that I think are deserving of our attention and our decision on that, because it's important to protect pedestrian safety, especially at those busy intersections. And then the Bart Town Center Bike Station project, which is really the entrance for people leaving the BART station, walking or biking from the BART station to the central downtown area. There's going to be a whole new look to that. And I need to look at my notes here. There's going to be a new shared use bicycle and pedestrian pathway connecting the south side of the BART station and the town center, city center. It's going to include a new plaza in between the shared use pathway and the BART entrance, and a new passenger vehicle turnaround featuring a suspended public art installation, and then a new unattended bike station providing secure parking for 82 bicycles, which will be really nice because I ride my bike to BART, and it'd be nice to be able to use that facility to park my bicycle. And then e-bike safety, we have our subcommittee that we had to reconstitute because we lost two of our members, Stella and Vianney. But we now have Mark Dreger, and Tony Ratner has joined me on the subcommittee. And we, as you know, the e-bike safety effort is being led by the Lafayette Police Department under the Slow Down Lafayette. So the role that we've taken is sort of advisory to work with Andy Comley and the police department to provide our advice, our opinions based on what's happening in the Bay Area region with that, and also give them suggestions for outreach. And we will continue to do that. So that's what's happening with e-bike safety and our involvement with that. Now, moving on to our 2026 plan, work plan, beginning with the Lafayette Aqueduct Pathway. Again, I think you're all very familiar with that, but that's the east-west pathway that is going to be built, is partially built now on the East Bay Mud right-of-way. And it currently exists. It has been built between from Risa Road on the far western side to Dolores. And now we're looking at detailed plans to extend that at some time in the future, funding permitting, from Dolores to Pleasant Hill Road. And so that's a long-term, I should say, project for the city, but we are making strides to complete that incrementally. And again, we're at the point right now where we're looking at detailed plans and determining how we want to go forward with that. And then the Smart Signals project, this will be an upgrade to our signals, traffic signals, and interconnecting them, making them smarter to be able to optimize traffic flow on our city streets. Basically, this will make them much more responsive in real time to traffic volumes so that they can be changed really in real time in order to respond to that. So it should help take care of maintaining better traffic flow in the downtown area. Next. The downtown parking management study, this is something that the commission looked at our last meeting a week ago. This is to identify strategies to achieve a balance between the parking supply, which is fixed, that we have here in the city, and growing demand. So we received a very long study from the consultants, and we considered that study last week. Looked at the strategies they were recommending. We made some comments, suggested changes to sequencing those strategies. That's going to come to you, and you'll have a chance to take a look at that. And then the Mount Diablo Corridor Multimodal Mobility Plan, that's a mouthful. It's going to look for ways to expand multimodal options for all users in the downtown area. That's a plan that I assume is scheduled for later this year, and we'll be taking that up. And then as a subset to that, there's going to be two other planning efforts, the Moraga Road planning exercise, taking a look at any changes that can be made to portions of Moraga Road that will make it more accessible for pedestrians and especially for bicyclists. And then there'll be a return to the right turn on red restrictions on Mount Diablo Boulevard and take another look at those. And maybe you want to comment on how all of that fits together?
Yeah, so we're actually, I have a microphone. We're looking at everything together rather than a piecemeal approach to all of these studies. So that's the idea behind the sub-studies, which I had initiated technical studies on those two before, but then decided to pause on them until we could look at it collectively with everything else in the downtown.
Thank you. And then the BART station access and circulation analysis, MTC is asking us to take a look at access routes for pedestrians and bicyclists within a half-mile radius of the BART station to identify any gaps and ways to bridge those gaps. And again, this is in response to MTC's transit-oriented communities policy. So that's something that we'll be doing, as well as update to the city's circulation element. I think this has been on our work plan for the last 2 years. And we're waiting for the planning department and GPAC to initiate this process, and we will support it through taking a look at the circulation element and updating that as part of the general plan update. And then finally, and something that's very close to my heart, the active transportation master plan. This will be to basically take our existing bicycling bike plan and walkways master plan, Both are outdated. The bikeways plan was written in 2006 and has not been updated. I think the last update to the walkways plan was in 2015. So they both need updating. And the idea is to join those two together in one big update and do that this year, which is grant dependent. We don't have funding for that right now. But as you know, Patrick is very good at attracting grant funds. And we're hoping that he might be able to do that and allow that to happen. So not to put any pressure on you, but we hope to make that happen. And then very quickly, ongoing programs, response to TARS, transportation action requests. This is where, as you know, is where residents, neighborhoods can identify maintenance needs on our streets and have those addressed. Consideration of traffic calming requests, review of any large development applications that we receive, and consideration of grant funding opportunities. And then finally, there could be some ribbon cuttings this year. Lafayette Town Center Pathway, Bike Station Project, Connecting Lafayette Project, dependent on completion, we maybe have ribbon cuttings for those projects. So with that, is there anything that either of you want to add? No? I said everything. Patrick, did I say everything correctly? Then with that, I'm going to conclude. Thank you very much, and I'd be happy to try, or we would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions? Stella?
I mean, not question, but just thank you so much for all of your hard work. I'm really happy that you have a full complement of 7 right now. And I really appreciate the thoughtfulness in which you've done your analysis of all of the different projects that Patrick has brought to you. In particular, I watched many of the meetings, I've attended some of them, and I think that you really did really good detailed work on the right turn on red restriction report, which was considerable, very technical. And the commission just brought forth a lot of good questions that I'm sure Patrick will be taking back to the consultants to help refine that whole process, in addition to the parking study that you just looked at and many others. So thank you all for your work.
Echo Stella's praise for all the work you guys are doing. It's been really great to watch. So 2 things, the transit-oriented communities MTC thing, that hasn't been finalized, right?
It has now.
Oh, it has now.
It has just, I would say, a week or 10 days ago.
Okay.
And planning staff is looking at it and will bring you a report.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, I can just mention at the mayor's conference, Sue Nowak was there, and she mentioned that where they've ended up is that of the $700 million of funds, they're going to separate 45 million that people who meet targets can go for. But as I understand it, the rest of it, you don't have to go through that process.
Got it.
But we're
Okay, that's okay.
confirming that.
Excellent. And then second, Patrick, do you want to give an update on the schools project? I think a lot of us know about the changes to what the project is, but maybe you can give a quick brief update on that.
Well, I'm sorry, which project?
The School Street.
School Street.
School Street and
School-
Topper.
Topper.
Okay,
and
that's now being managed by Lori Suckgang, our new senior engineer, but I'm understanding that there's some natural resources issues associated with the environmental review. So that's going to be looked at this month. And so construction timeline is TBD at this point. Will still happen, but she has to resolve that first.
Do you want to add anything?
Certainly. Thank you, Patrick. Yes, because of Caltrans, it's a federal funded project. We have to go through this process. So it appears that this year we will be focusing on relocating utilities, and there are several on School and Topper, and the actual project will commence next year. That's the, it's still tentative, but that's what we believe it'll happen.
Just briefly, I just want to say thank you very much for all your work. I think it's very exciting. I think Councilmember Kendall and I were on the interviews last year, I guess, when we interviewing the new people that have come on. And it's just such a great mix, I think, of you got some experienced people who really know what's going on and some new people that have a lot, bring a lot of energy and thoughtfulness to the team. So I think the commission right now, it's very exciting. And I know Patrick's got a big workload teed up for you guys. So we thank you for everything that you do.
And thank you. And I'd like to add, there's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get a sense of timing. There's a chart at the back of the staff report. So my guess is like latter part of this year, many of these projects are going to be being presented here. All the work that you've been doing, the studies and so on. I'm trying to get a gauge on like when we're going to be getting our hands on this.
Yeah, right now, a lot of the work is tied to the multimodal mobility study, which we're hoping will launch in the summer. That will be kind of the parent study for many of these other studies. With that said, the MTC study, the Transit-Oriented Communities, BART Access and Circulation, that is a project that MTC handed me a consultant team very recently, about 2 weeks ago. And so we did have a kickoff to that project, I believe about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, just some quick questions on the BART project. When are they going to start? Do you know when they're actually going to begin work?
It started.
It has started.
Week of February, I believe.
Okay.
That's what I read.
Great. And then the aqueduct pathway, we have the funding for the 100% design work. When do you anticipate that will be completed?
I'm hoping by the end of this year, calendar year.
So 2027 will be getting that. And then the active transportation master plan, bicycling and the pathway. How is that? Well, I know that's not going to start until maybe after the multimodal mobility plan, but the multimodal mobility plan is going to definitely be looking at those along the corridor area, because that's going to be so important to the success of any planning for pedestrians or bicycles. How do you see those integrating?
So the timing is a little misaligned. The grant for the active transportation master plan is a Caltrans grant. They had said late spring, early summer would be, they'd let applicants know that their decision about who would get funding or not. Regardless, it won't start when the multi-mobility study starts, but that study is focused on downtown. And yes, the bicycle and pedestrian routes in the downtown area, in the study area, will be identified through that process. And then I'm imagining that the active transportation plan will kind of layer on top of that and capture the rest of the city.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, are there public comments?
Mayor Anduri, there are no public comments at this time.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you to our new member. Thank you to our permanent member. Thank you to our chair, and thank you to our staff. Great work. Okay, we are on to the consent calendar. I'd like to pull item 11A. Is there any other item that needs to be pulled from the consent calendar? Okay, seeing none, are there any members of the public who'd like to request that an item be pulled?
I have no request to pull an item from consent.
Okay, can I have a motion for adoption, for approval of the consent calendar, all except item 11A?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. We are on to item 11A, the city council minutes. The reason I pulled it, I just wanted to keep it clean and adopt the, strike on page 3, the reference to the land acknowledgement statement, since we just do that at the first meeting of each month. And make sure that that's clear. So does anyone have anything else on the minutes? Okay, can I have a motion for adoption of the minutes as amended?
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's unanimous. We're on to council commission reports. Who would like to go first?
I can go first. I looked.
Yep.
So for the DEIB committee, we had a there were two things going on. So on April 11th, they're going to throw a big event at Akalani's High School, celebrating the leaders, not just the youth leaders, but also the other members in the community and all the work that they are doing. And just on a side, neither John and I could go, which is unfortunate. We're both out of town. And so if some other council member wants to go, please reach out to, I guess, me.
I'll be
Sure.
back. I can.
And you'll be, okay,
Perfect.
okay, Carl, go.
Yeah,
And hopefully Joanne will get a proclamation to take to thank them for all their work to that committee. So that is exciting. And then the next piece is that we really need to have the committee be a 501c3, a nonprofit. And so we met with Steve, and he is going onto the path of becoming a nonprofit. And so the city can put the funding into a nonprofit. But in the interim, if he doesn't get it done so soon, the Community Foundation of Lafayette will fill in as a stopgap measure. And so we're going to try to get it on the Community Foundation's agenda before all the funding ends in June 30th. So they won't have a gap in their funding. So those are the two things we're working on.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
About that? So I'm not clear. I'm not following the DEIB committee, the funding, June 30th, nonprofit. What is that?
We give them money. We give them for money for like a block grant for like 4 years.
We have money available.
We have money available.
Currently money available.
And so, but we're not writing checks to a 501c3. We're writing a check to a person.
Oh, okay.
And that is unusual.
I see.
And we want to make sure that we don't, all the other groups that we give money to like that are formalized groups.
I see.
That's the effort. And it should be fine. Well,
Separate.
No, thank you for the explanation.
sure.
A couple things, or a couple of things from the commissions that actually both Jim and I represent, but I think Jim was having fun last week. So a couple of things to report out. One, for emergency preparedness, officially, we at Burton Valley is now a certified Firewise neighborhood. 917 homes, 3,000 people are in this one Firewise neighborhood. It's incredible.
Can I ask? I thought they were going to do several. No,
there's
ended up being one.
One, there's like a group of 70 that's like leading the whole thing. It's incredible what they've done. It's very, very exciting. It's a huge step in trying to gain full coverage by there. So that was exciting. And then for crime prevention, I just wanted to note our Citizens Police Academy is starting March 24th. I'm going to be joining that class, so I'll go see what the police do. So that'll be kind of fun. Assuming I don't want to take away anybody's spots, but assuming there's room, I will join and learn all about from the inside out on the police doing. So since they serve us well, it's good to know. And then finally, I don't know if you want to talk about mention. I just wanted to mention that in this room on February 26th, we were fortunate to attend an iftar meeting. Sponsored by the DIB committee and the local Muslim community. Phenomenal dinner full of fellowship and great food and great conversation. And it was really wonderful.
Can I quick follow up on that? On the emergency prep part of that, we did get a request for a letter for Senator Grayson's budget ask for all the wildfire things you guys asked for. And so if we can bring that back to the next meeting.
Actually, Councilmember Candell, that list of asks was already presented to you in November. Andy came and gave you a presentation.
Yes.
And based on that and the timing, I did request a letter from the mayor, and it's been sent.
Even better. Thank you.
Yeah, just a follow up to the BART Board of Directors update I gave last time. I think you may know that they met again to take a look at their alternative plan, and they made a small adjustment, which is that they're not going to be considering any station closures if their measure does not pass in the January 2027 time point. So if their measure does not pass in November, then they will not close any stations. They will commence with other cuts. They'll be dropping some lines. They'll be raising some fares and parking fees. They'll be cutting administrative amounts. But any station closures that may have to be considered would be pushed out into the following fiscal year. So 27, 28 fiscal year. So stay tuned. The measure will be on the ballot in November.
Right. I did have a quick follow-up question on that, which I forgot to ask last time. Do they save much money by closing a station? It doesn't feel like it's a very, did they talk about that? Just kind of what the impact is? It doesn't feel like it'd be much.
Yeah, they did. They had a graph that was kind of a bunch of 3 curves, and you kind of find the sweet spot where you close something, but you're not going to lose revenue, that you need. So they had to kind of find where that, little fine needle lands. And so for the stations that were on their list, I think of 10, initially, they were the lowest revenue generating stations. And I think memory's not great right now for a month ago meeting, but I think that they didn't generate the fares to break even at the station.
Oh, I see. Okay. Just
So
felt like,
those
feels
were
like the cost is pretty.
Yeah, those were
okay.
the reasons why I think they had looked at those 10.
And I'm just curious, did they talk about, are they doing any, these are cuts if the measure fails. Are they doing anything before the measure? They talk about what they're doing to tighten the budget now?
That's a good question. I think they have done things, but don't quote me.
Okay.
I don't know the answer.
And the presentation, is that a BART website if I wanted to find it?
Good question. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can look and I can pass it to
It was
the city
6.5
manager.
hours, just so you know.
6.5
Or something like, she did some incredible duties
Okay,
staying
that's-
through that.
that's
So just
wonderful
just
oversight.
FYI
Thank you.
on that one.
It was a good meeting. It's yeah, good. I mean, there were things they talked about that were their achievements for 2026 or 2025, which were all great. So
I think we can follow up with the conversation we had last time about doing our tri-citizen meeting featuring BART. Is there any
Yeah.
follow up on that?
So Moraga is the host this time, so they're coordinating, but I've passed on to the Moraga town manager that we'd like to invite Bart, and I've connected Bart with Scott Mitnick.
Oh,
So,
great.
yeah.
And if for some reason that doesn't happen, because I was talking to a council member and they have something else in mind.
We will
should
invite
have
them to Lafayette.
Yeah, that'd be great. And what date is the Tri-Cities
It
meeting?
hasn't been set yet.
Oh, it has. Okay.
mhm.
We'll do it for less than 6.5 hours though.
So I think one other BART thing, we all received, I think, a notice of their upcoming work for Brown Avenue and El Nido Ranch Road, I believe. And I'm not clear about whether they're going to need to close the roads down. And they said March was the start of the project, and
It was a very
was it-
poorly worded
no.
announcement. I will agree. It was very poorly, it was oddly worded.
Yeah.
As far as like the actual impact.
But it did sound like there would be closures because they're going to be, it sounded like they're working on the base of the support. So
Yeah.
I would guess they'd be taking at least one lane part of the time.
It depends, but the base of the things are not really next to the roads a lot of times. A lot of times they're kind of in the medians. I don't know. It was unclear. Yeah.
I can check with the engineering department. They would have had to pull encroachment permits to do work in our right of way.
Mhm. Yeah, it's Brown Avenue in particular that I'm familiar with, which a lot of people cut through. And so it will create a necessity for a detour
Right.
if it is closed, in part or in full. So I think the other thing I wanted to report on was the City Schools Council Subcommittee meeting happened last week. And this is a meeting of city council liaisons, school board members from each of the districts and the district superintendents. And we heard reports from them about their fiscal situations. Each of the districts have been in deficit spending for quite a while. They've each implemented cuts in prior fiscal years, and they reported that they are going to be continuing for the next fiscal year to have to implement cuts. For Lafayette School District, they're looking at, I think, 1.8 million for this coming fiscal year, but they've already cut in the past 2. And so we're looking at a cumulative total of about 6 million that they've had to reduce. And I think what they said was that in the prior 2 years, it was a lot of maybe non-student facing areas, but now they really are cutting into instructional staff, PE specialists, library staff. So it's really significant. And they are having to place a measure on the ballot. And I believe theirs is for June. It's for Lafayette School District. And for Acalanes, they're cutting 2 million for the next fiscal year, and they had cut 2 million this present fiscal year. So they're looking at cumulative of 4. And I don't know what came of the meeting of their governing board that was after our meeting, but I had heard they were looking at ways to raise revenue through a measure as well. So that is the city schools update. And then last thing is there will be a ribbon cutting tomorrow for the all ages recreation downtown Aardvark's Den location next to El Haro. And it's Tuesday, tomorrow, 4 to 5 p.m.
One addition to city schools is the crossing guards,
Oh, thank you.
right? So if you want to,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Forgot about that. That's an important one. So in the budget discussions that the school board had, the Lafayette School Board had, they talked about their whole slate of items under consideration for cuts. And one of them was the crossing guard program, their 50% contribution to it. So they will not be putting that into their budget this coming year. And they will also not manage the contract.
Do you know, does that change if the measure passes or not?
I don't know.
It does not.
Okay.
seemed like they were saying no.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Hey, some updates. The Measure H Oversight Committee met for the first time. Tracy organized the meeting. All 5 of our Oversight Committee members were there. It was a very good meeting. I think we even scheduled the next meeting for a specific date, so that's underway. In terms of representing the city in the last 2 weeks, I was with John at the iftar dinner, which I thought was just a wonderful occasion. The La Miranda Sunrise Rotary, each year now, they've done this for 4 years. They honor 3 students at each of the middle schools in the La Miranda area, the Good Character Awards. So I attended that. Again, that's another inspirational event. I went to the mayor's conference, not necessarily an inspirational event, but always interesting. And then the city manager and the police chief and I were at the El Pi Gala in San Francisco Sunday night, which was definitely a high energy event. El Pi just does a great job. And there were 500 parents there who were contributing huge amounts to the students and schools. So it was a great event. I mean, Danielle Gallagher has just done an amazing job with El Pi. And then, oh, go ahead.
No, if you don't, I don't.
Well, one more thing.
Yes.
Then yesterday I attended the Scouting America has their annual volunteer recognition dinner for adults who lead scouting. They did that at the Memorial Building. And again, it was a full house. That was very inspirational, seeing all the adults who work with our scout troops. So that was good.
Sorry, yes, very good. One thing I would be remiss if we're not mentioning, just a public record, Carol Singer, who is Lafayette's 2026 Citizen of the Year. Her dinner is next Thursday. There are a few tickets left. You have to buy tickets by the 12th. So if anybody's interested, that one's a worthwhile event. So long overdue, I think, for all of Carol's contributions.
Yep. Okay, so we're on to item 16C. Resolution formalizing the policy for the election of the mayor and the vice mayor. And as I said in my memo, oh, sorry. We pulled that off. Oh, yeah, that's 2 meetings in a row.
That's a good point.
This is also, what's going on here? There's 2 meetings in a row. You've done that. And where we've had no public comment.
That's right.
None whatsoever. I don't know. Oh, maybe they'll be commenting on this item. I shouldn't say that. Okay, so as I said in the memo, there's no urgency to do this. I just think from a transparency standpoint, if anyone asks, how do you pick your mayor and vice mayor, we can say, well, we've got a resolution for that. So here's the proposed resolution. And thank you to Joanne for taking what I had prepared and turning it into a resolution and adding some important parts too. So there it is. Any questions? Okay, is there any public comment?
No public comment on item 16C.
Okay, is there any comment before we?
I just want to say, I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that went into this. I mean, I think you beat ChatGPT with this kind of an outcome. And I really like that your comment here, doing this while the waters are calm.
That's right.
No reference to anybody else.
No, but I really appreciate the thoughtfulness that went into this. Just trying to make it clear. Thank you.
Well, and my thanks to Walnut Creek, which first put this in writing, and I reached out to Mayor Wilk to ask him if they had had any, glitches in the implementation of the policy. He said, nope, it's been working fine. So,
Right.
Yeah, it's terrific.
okay, so we need a motion for adoption.
I'll move approval.
My second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, on to 16D.
And I
Great,
just
the
wanted to say
legislation-
Casey is on
great.
Zoom.
Okay, so I'll go through the easy part, our ledge platform for 2026. The only thing that changed was adding that statement about monitoring legislation related to electric bicycles and other electric mobility devices, including classification, age restrictions, safety standards, enforcement authority, and local control over use of public rights-of-way, parks, and trails. So we added that so we can cover all the e-bike stuff without having to come back to council to ask. And then I do want to say before, if Casey, you want to give just a quick, super fast summary of these two bills, but there was a third bill that was part of our meeting that we have decided to take a little bit of a different action on that one. And so we'll come back with you guys when that is done. All right, Casey, you want to tell us your synopsis of 2346 and SB 2922?
Yes, good evening. Casey Elliott with Townsend Public Affairs. Briefly, as it relates to AB 2346 by Assemblymember Wilson, she is the chair of the Assembly Transportation Committee. And the committee is going to be looking at a number of bills this year that deal with e-bike safety. This is her measure, which is in large part based off recommendations from a report issued in November found at the Moneta Institute. Her bill does a number of things. Briefly, starting in 2029, it would require that all e-bikes sold in California are equipped with a speedometer, as well as front and rear lighting for safety and for visibility. It would also require manufacturers and distributors selling e-bikes to provide consumers with a summary of state laws and regulations. The measure would also require those retailers to disclose what type of e-bike they're selling and the maximum speed, the maximum battery wattage, any age restrictions, helmet restrictions that are applicable to the classification of bike. It would impose civil penalties on manufacturers and distributors that violate these laws. Additionally, the measure authorizes local jurisdictions to adopt overall speed limits for e-bikes, both on bike paths and multi-use paths. And then it imposes statewide speed limit of 15 miles an hour on an e-bike for any rider aged 15 and younger. And it also sets a statewide speed limit of 5 miles an hour when riding any e-bike on a sidewalk. So that's what that measure does. The second bill, Senate Bill 922 by Senator Laird, that measures in response to a court case that came up last year in the city of Redlands related to the usage of franchise fees. The court in that case found that Redlands, and this would be applicable in many other jurisdictions, including the city, was in violation of a 40-plus-year-old vehicle code section by using the revenues generated from their from their waste hauling franchise agreements for road maintenance. There's a archaic vehicle code section that had nothing to do with the topic at hand that says cities can't implement local road taxes. That was cited during the court case as the rationale for not allowing those funds to be used that way. Most public agencies have these type of agreements. So this legislation, Senate Bill 922, is aimed to clarify that, yes, while local governments cannot establish local VMTs or local road taxes, under this circumstance, the use of these funds to mitigate, to offset wear and tear caused in providing a public service is an acceptable item under the vehicle code. So both of those bills were presented to the legislative committee, and the committee is suggesting support amendments, or excuse me, support position on both of those measures.
Thank you, Casey. And so the next meeting, I'll make sure that I've got a summary of these so you don't have to come on, okay? Like Jim did last year. Sorry. So I'll cover for you next time. So do we have any questions about any of the three items? Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. So I noticed in the legislative platform for housing 10 and emergency preparedness 2, it just says high fire hazard areas. And I wanted to understand, is that the CAL FIRE high fire hazard severity zone definition? And if it is, then maybe it should make that explicit.
I think it was more of a generic term when we put it in there. We put it in there just as a description, not a classification.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's the case, maybe we should delete high, because they're fire hazard zones and they're very high,
Right.
high and moderate.
That's right.
Okay, so maybe we'll think about some better language there.
Yeah, that's what confused
Okay.
me, because I know we don't currently have very much very high.
We
So
don't.
I thought you may have modified it to be only the high, but the technical, acronym is
If you took out high, it would be all the fire hazard zones, but
Areas,
I guess
yeah.
we can approve this and you can come back.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
okay.
Sounds
So
good.
yeah, that was my only question on the legislative platform. I did have a question about or a comment about the bills.
Sure.
So for AB 2346, this is, maybe just my own commentary. I don't know how it fits into what we're doing with voting to support, but integrated front lamps, very, very important to have lights on the bikes, no doubt, for both people encountering them and by foot, by bike, by car, but also for the safety of the rider to be able to see what's around them. But I will say that there's a situation that I've seen around town, in my neighborhood in particular, where there's a couple folks, maybe 2 or 3, who have a certain type of bike. They look more like this e-dirt bike kind of style, and they have a very big, kind of like an old school 1970s VW Bug headlight. It's like big, and it's a high beam effectively. It's pointing straight out, and it's a super high intensity LED. It's an issue, I guess, that the regulation will have to just catch up with the market. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because it's important for them, but it's also coming straight out and frankly, really blinding.
Okay.
So,
Might add that there's a lot of back channel that goes on through these bills. That's a great point to flag. And maybe that's something Casey takes up with the committee consultant or the staffer for Assemblymember Wilson.
I would support that. Yeah, and I could even send Casey maybe an email, because I did a little bit of digging to see like what is even the word for these things. And of course, Germany has a standard. Of course, they have a name for exactly what these bike lights should do and how they should be calibrated and such.
I will say that there was a really long discussion about e-bikes at the Ledge Committee session. I mean, this could be the year. There's lots of bills coming out. And one of the things was in the discussions, the EU has got standards
Yes.
nailed down here.
Yeah.
We are like,
And we do not.
this is a very laissez-faire approach we've been taking thus far.
That's right. They have more restrictions. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And different. That's what I actually was going to ask you about, because I looked and there are many, many bills currently in the session. So is that something that the Ledge Committee will be looking at?
Definitely. There's
Okay.
another bill that Councilmember Kendall alluded to that we're sort of following up on. Assemblymember Wilson is chair of the Transportation Committee. This may be the bill that rules them all, so to
Oh,
speak.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a lot going on this front right now,
Okay.
but this seemed to have attributes that were net good.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we felt was worth supporting.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think that the aspect of giving cities the control over setting speed limits is really important component of this. Yeah.
Okay, are there any other questions? Is there any public comment?
No public comment on these items.
Okay, back
Okay.
to council then.
Actually, this is sort of a question, but it kind of indirectly a comment with respect to the Laird Bill SB 922. There's a dollar amount that these franchise fees represent for the city of Lafayette. all the
it's-
work. Good.
It's
It's
huge.
It's a big number.
That'd be huge.
It's about a
Can we-
million dollars.
It's over $1 million, as I recall.
Yeah.
While Tracy's looking at that, shall we go ahead and approve the legislative
Please, yeah.
platform? We have a motion for approval.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And then do you want a motion for?
AB
support-
2346, yeah.
Okay,
Individually.
okay, so there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we get back to you on?
Sure.
It's a meaningful number.
It's a big
All-
number.
Oh, it's meaningful.
It is, yeah.
It's a single
The
digit.
cities are so in favor of
Yeah,
this.
it-
right?
it-
So
I've
just
looked-
that
We
one.
looked at this is like the ultimate no-brainer as a piece of legislation to support it.
Yeah, for city, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
so support for 922?
Yeah, I think we just did that.
No. we didn't.
No, we
Oh, we
just
just
did.
did, okay, okay,
Yeah.
922. There's the motion.
I'll second.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great. Okay, we're on to item 17, which unfortunately is a resignation from the Creeks Committee by Christy Runbush, who got off to a blazing fast start as a member of the committee with a great program for youth involvement. So fortunately, we hope that she's leaving. We hope that she'll come back someday on the
Is
commission.
is anybody taking over that?
Yes, we last meeting, we approved 2 new members for the,
Oh, good. So, because I looked at that, her program, it's like, oh, that's
I
just
know,
amazing.
I know, she
Oh, that's
really-
sad.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, is there anything else anyone would like to say before we adjourn? Okay, we're adjourned for the evening. Thank you all.
Thank you.